Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Starbound. My name's Tekorsa, and today we're moving on to a new project. Originally, I had planned on this one being a one and done, but I ended up spending too much time playing with wiring, so it's going to be a two-parter. But that's fine by me. But anyways, to give you kind of a little bit of a characteristic of this particular build, I did mention something of it, I guess, in my next to last episode. I'm going to be making an Underacid research station. And this actually isn't on the same planet as the flying steampunk build. Just to kind of put that out there. But anyway, so what I started off on here was designing the supply drop-off and a sub-landing station so they can ferry supplies to this research station and then down under the acid to the people working in the station. Could probably call them scientists. The scientists working in the station. Or, yeah, research station. I originally just wanted to make a oh no, did I forget what it was called? I forgot what it was called. Moon pool, that's what it's called. First I just wanted to make a moon pool, but then I thought, wait a second, who is gonna want to go into a moon pool that's covered in acid? And that's what I used to justify me building a lovely little door. Or not a door, a proper functioning airlock for the sub to dock in. Which that took a lot of time, but I'm kind of proud of my results. It just took me a little bit longer than I originally planned. But it wouldn't have been as awesome. I'll just say that. But yeah, so originally I didn't, not originally, but at first I intended to just have the sub drive in through the door. I thought that would be a cool idea, but here in a minute when I test it out, I discover that the sub is too big to fit through those airlock doors. The explorer pods will fit through the airlock doors, but not the submarines. Yep, it just crashes into the door. But anyways, so I actually spend most of the rest of this video working on the airlock and the wiring for it, so if you're curious about the thought processes behind wiring and how you can wire stuff up, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'll try to reiterate my thoughts as I go through it, but no guarantee there. So, alright, so what I have is I have secret doors as the entry hatches for the airlock, since that was going to be the best way for me to open up a door for the sub to fit through. And the first thing I decided to try was an invisible motion sensor, so that when I would get the sub right up on the edge of the those doors, that it would open them up, but the sub doesn't trigger the motion sensors. So that was a little bit of a problem. So I tried different of the motion sensors, the proximity sensors, whatever you want to call them. And I discovered that it's not the sub that sets it off, it's the cockpit where the player is at that will trigger the proximity sensors. So that's what I ended up having to do. Basically have two posts coming down off of the structure, and then as you drive up into that, it's going to cause you to trip the motion sensor, the proximity sensor, whatever they're called. But it's going to trigger that, and then you'll be able to pop the sub up into the airlock. So that was one of my little debugging issues. And then after that, I needed to fill up the... Well, basically just make a regular airlock. Fill it up with acid. Had to figure out what the best way to do that was going to be. I planned on using some more of the secret doors, but then I realized that when they open up, they don't open up to the background. So I ended up having to use a hatch. The only one that I could find that was usable for my circumstances was the wooden hatch, because it's one thick, whereas most of the others are two thick. And I just wanted it to kind of sit there, and well, that's how I got it to work. Alright, and so what I have here is I hooked the motion detectors up to a persistent switch, and the persistent switch into a countdown timer, so that when you trip it, it's going to flip the persistent switch to hold open the doors until the liquid sensors there at the top of the room trigger. And once those trigger, it'll flip that OR gate that's in front of the... Or wait, no. Never mind, it doesn't flip that OR gate. That OR gate's for the proximity sensors. Motion sensors, whatever they're called. It goes up into that AND gate. The AND gate flips the persistent switch back off, which will allow that countdown timer to turn back off, which allows the doors to shut and the drains to cut back on because of the NOT switch that's also connected to. There you go. Lots of words. Regardless, it works. Now I'm just making sure that it works. Just going through the debugging process, seeing if I like how it opens and closes, if there's anything else that I can do to make it better. And then I realized I needed to trigger it from the inside, which ends up being another motion detector, because I don't want to push a button and race the acid into the race the acid to the submarine. Because I'm thinking about, this needs to be practical. And I'm going to build something similar down in the research station, which I was considering to continue doing. Like I said, this was supposed to be a one and done. Turns out that it's a little bit too much work to be a one and done. But overall, I did a good job. Oh, so another thing from like a practical / realism standpoint, you don't want to carry giant boxes down a flight of stairs and then drop 10 feet down. So I decided to put in a elevator instead, which is just one of the composite rail platform on railing that goes up and down. Rail stops at either end of the rail, and that's hooked up to a set of buttons. The buttons hook up into both of them, so it doesn't matter where the elevator's at, you can always access it. And then I made the top part a little bit more refined. Anyways, I think that's about it. Yeah, just tested a couple of times to make sure it's back down, and yeah. That's going to be it for this video. So all I did was I sort of made a loading bay here for the for cargoes and supply. You take it down the elevator all the way down to the bottom, and then yeah, this is going to be the sort of a storage area where stuff gets loaded onto the submarine. And then I've made the airlock for the submarine so I can safely get in and out. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe for all of the video updates. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, concerns, whatever it is, leave it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and have yourselves a very good day.